Okay, after that wonderful session, we are going to move to our second panel of the day. What is the best tool that a human has? Anybody? Brain, exactly. Nice, you're attentive. The brain is the best tool that a human has. And where is the best place is that a brain is tested in? Where is the best place where the brain can be tested? You're innovators, so think like that. Where? Come on, guys, give answers. Has food put you to sleep or what? Then answer. Where? Louder. Pressure. No. In the market. You're bloody innovators. Your mind, your ideas are kept in the market. That is where they are tested. So the second panel of the day is going to be mind to market, developing on innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystems in Gujarat. This panel will focus on the establishment, growth, and enhancement of an innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem within the state of Gujarat, India. This ecosystem aims to foster a supportive environment for nurturing innovative ideas, fostering entrepreneurship, and translating these ideas into successful market-ready products and services. The objective is to create a vibrant ecosystem that encourages collaborating, funding, mentorship, and skill development, ultimately contributing to the economic and global growth, thus creating jobs and technical advancements in the region. With a huge round of applause, I would like to call upon stage our panelists. First, we have Mr. Hiranmay Mahanta, CEO, iHub Gujarat. A huge round of applause, please. Mr. Ankit Dave, CEO, GUSEC. Mr. Dhruv Shah, Managing Director, Prasad Group of Companies. And for our moderator of the panel, Ms. Moira Dava, Communication, Advocacy and Partnership Specialist, UNICEF.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hello again. Welcome to the second and the final panel discussion of the day. इसके बाद एक fireside chat है with innovators. So the final panel, that's the reason I'm saying that. हमारा जो theme है आज का वो है from the mind to the market. जो innovation और entrepreneurial ecosystem की हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर हम लोग focus करेंगे. We have three very eminent personalities with us on stage. Mr. Hiranmay Mahanta from iHub, he's the CEO. We have Ankit Dave, who's the CEO of GUSEC, and Mr. Dhruv Shah, he's the MD of the Prasad Group of Companies. अब discussion की शुरुआत करते समय मैं सबको बोलूँगी if they can introduce themselves. And मुझे आप ये बताएं what is it that makes you so passionate about this entire ecosystem जहाँ पर अब innovation, entrepreneurship की बात करें. What is it that drives you?
Before we start our panel, I would request Miss Archana Gondalia to felicitate Mr. Hiranmay Mahanta. Please, a round of applause. Mr. Shivam Patel to felicitate Mr. Ankit Dave. A round of applause, everyone. And I would request Mr. Dashang Panchal to felicitate Mr. Dhruv Shah. A round of applause, everybody. I would request Mr. Karnal Pancholi to felicitate Miss Moira Dava. A round of applause, everybody. Now over to you, ma'am. Now we can continue with the panel.
Thank you so much. Coming back to our panel discussion. Mr. Hiranmay, आप बताइए सबसे पहले. What is it that drives you? What makes you so passionate about this ecosystem in Gujarat?
Thank you. It's clear, right? Thank you. So, I see a lot of young people, so I will try to connect that way. इंडिया की इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद कितने साल हो गए हमारे पास अभी? Perfect. So, let us divide these 75 into 3 parts each. 25, 25, 25, right? 1947 से. So, if I ask you, what was the driving factor of India's economy in the first 25 years? Can anybody raise hand? Yes? Perfect. What's your name? What's your name? Satyajit के लिए ताली बजाओ भाई. Okay. So the first 25 years was agriculture who gave us the economic thrust. What about the second 25 year? Anybody can raise hand? No. हाथ खड़ा करना पड़ेगा. हाँ. Partially true. Yes, ma'am. Partially true. थोड़ा सा broad. Not only we made a lot of dams, we made a lot of roads. Yes. No. Somebody was saying right here. What's your name? Rahul के लिए ताली बजाओ भाई. The second 25 years of India's economy was infrastructure. It was till 1997. What was about the third 25 years? 97 to 2022. Anybody guess? हाथ खड़ा करना पड़ेगा, हाँ? Third one, yes? Partially true. राहुल तुम्हारा पढ़ाई कहाँ से हुआ है? इनकी कॉलेज में एडमिशन लेना. सर्विस सेक्टर वाज समथिंग दैट गेव टू इकोनॉमी, राइट? सो राहुल की 2 आंसर सही हो गए. सो पहला 25 साल का इकोनॉमी था एग्रीकल्चर, अगला 25 साल था इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, तीसरा था सर्विसेज में आईटी इंडस्ट्री सब आ जाते हैं. हु कैन टेल व्हाट्स नेक्स्ट 25 इयर्स? मतलब 2022 से 2047. इलेक्ट्रिकल रिवोल्यूशन. एनीबडी? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. मैम आपकी शुभ नाम क्या है? तो मीरल जी के लिए तालियां बजाओ भाई. तो ये इकोनॉमिक थ्योरी है इस देश की इकोनॉमिक नैरेटिव का. पहले 25 साल खेतीबाड़ी, अगले 25 साल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, तीसरा 25 साल सर्विसेज. द नेक्स्ट 25 years of India's economy is going to be driven by startups and entrepreneurs. So that is one of the things which excites both state and central government. And let me tell you, this is what not मीरल मैम ने बताया. ये प्रधानमंत्री जी ने रिसेंटली जब उन्होंने अमृत काल की परिकल्पना की 2047 की, तब उन्होंने कहा कि वन ऑफ द रीजन व्हाई वी शुड सपोर्ट यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, यंग स्टार्टअप्स, बिकॉज द फोर्थ क्वाड्रेंट ऑफ इंडिया's economy will be driven by people who will kind of challenge the system more than obey the system, right? People who will take lesser traveled path than more followers kind of mindsets. And that is one of the reason why Government of India launched the startup policy in 2016. Of course, on behalf of Gujarat government, we have launched the policy in 2015. And all the young people here, अगले 25 साल में आप लोग इस country की peak of economic drive में आप लोग contribute कर रहे होंगे. And this is one of the reason why we are excited about. This is one of the things that government is very passionate about. But the question is like the anchor mentioned about mind to market. See, there are millions of ideas coming to your minds every day morning. But in the sheer pressure of what the society, what the mentors, what the people will say, you do a lot of vrunatya, right, of ideas. How do we make sure that some of these ideas translate into reality and make impact? And जब मैं impact की बात करता हूँ, 2 चीज़ कहता हूँ. Value for money and value for many. Let me repeat. What do we mean by value for money? It is okay to make profits, but it is also essential to make impact. So the startup ecosystem of next 25 years is not only for value for money, but also for value for many. And that is the reason institutions like iHub and institutions like education departments, SSIP cell exist to make sure that when you travel between one part of your mind to other part of the market, वो bumps come आए road में, right? So that you are de-risked, you get opportunity, and also you are somebody who are encouraged to take risk. So that's why I have exists. And of course, even our tagline is mind to market. I was happy to see the theme of this topic today. And our job is not to give you a safety net, but also we think that how can you navigate through that challenges and still make sure that your ideas don't die on the path. And we make sure that even if your ideas die in the path, we kind of ensure that the entrepreneur doesn't die, right? So some ideas may fail, but enterprising mind never fails. So that's the spirit and that inspires us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a very detailed answer. And now that you're talking about young people and the demographic dividend in India, I have to move to Ankit, and I have the same question for you. So whenever I have anybody from my Delhi office or others come to JUSEC, because we have a long-term partnership with them, they look at him and they think he's an innovator. But he's the CEO who's heading JUSEC. So Ankit, what is it that drives you?
So firstly, thank you for calling me for this gathering, and good to see that many young minds have joined today for this innovation conference. Talking about the innovations and mind to market, so I just wanted to give you a little bit brief about what we are, because I don't know how many of you know about GUSEC. So GUSEC is a Gujarat University's incubator. It's Gujarat University Startup and Entrepreneurship Council. So our main focus is upon the young minds, the student innovators. So that was the mission with which GUSEC was started. And that's the main motive with which we are working today. And that's the, you can say, a motivation for us also to, for which we are working today. Because what we believe that young minds have a lot of capabilities as compared to the other age groups, right? They have a lot of time to give it to the startup, and they have a lot of ideas to implement. So that's something on which we are tapping upon, and for the same we have like a mission of converting at least 1% of our students into an entrepreneur. Coming from the oldest and the largest state university, we have a like huge bandwidth of students. Over 4 lakh students are associated with us, and that gives us an energy and a motivation that at least 1% of them can be a possible startups or an entrepreneurs. So that is a huge thing. Talking about the school kids, yes, we are working with UNICEF as well. And school kids are very curious. They have a very great ideas. So far, we have been able to do 2 editions of Children Innovation Festival, where we had been able to give them the knowledge about startup and entrepreneurship and upskill them about all the aspects of it. And through this, we have been able to get good ideas from them as well. So we are not only talking about the young innovators from the colleges, we are also talking about the young innovators from the schools. So that's something which we are very, very much focused upon, and I believe that is going to drive ahead, as Sir rightly mentioned, that in the next phase, in the next era, the entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem is going to flourish, and that is going to be done by the young minds.
Thank you so much. So we've heard from the government, and we've also heard from the academia. I'll move on to Mr. Shah. As a young entrepreneur, what makes you so passionate about this ecosystem, and how can it support the industries?
First of all, how do you know I'm passionate about?
I'm asking, are you?
All right. So, second, you're calling me young.
Yes, I am.
All
We're
right,
going to be young forever.
So, yeah. So good. Nature of nature is evolution. So, acha, first of all, is Gujarati comfortable or English comfortable? So, મને પૂછે છે ભાઈ તમને આટલો બધો ઉત્સાહ કેમ છે કે કેમ આટલા બધા એનર્જેટિક છો આ વસ્તુ બિઝનેસ પાછળ, તો એ તો દરેક જણ છે. અચ્છા, નોટ ક્લિયર. હેલો, એમ આઈ ઓડિબલ નો? ઓકે. સો main purpose is like everyone wants to do something which is energetic, enthusiastic, and which is something new. કંઈક તો નવું કરવું જ હોય છે. સ્કૂલ હોય, કોલેજ હોય, ડ્રામા હોય, ફ્રેન્ડશિપ હોય, દરેક વખતે ન્યૂ એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ અને ન્યૂ થિંગ્સ ઇઝ ઓલવેઝ ધેર. અને બીઇંગ વિથ ધ લોટ ઓફ એન્ટરપ્રાઇઝીસ, incubation centers, organization like Young Indians, TIE, all gives me a great opportunity to connect back with my own youthfulness. You know, after doing 25 years of the business, your mind becomes only a little biased or a one-sided, only going towards the bigger economy and more money. The moment I connected with the youth and enterprises, startups, there are 100 or 1,000 new ideas which I am learning, which I can go back and implement in my business. And even today, more than the teaching, I'm going to take out many ideas from them and from others and go back and implement. That is my passion.
Thank you so much. I forgot to say this in the beginning. Please feel free to speak in English, Hindi or Gujarati. गुजराती थोड़ी बहुत मुझे समझ में आती है, बोले नहीं जाता है. So we'll move on to the first set of questions, Mr. Mahanta. And ये question इसलिए पूछ रहे ताकि we know more about the organization's roles, strategies and models that they're following. Can you elaborate a little bit about iHub? उसका role क्या है in nurturing startups and also fostering innovations? And अगर आप कुछ example, success story बता पाएं तो it's easier for the audiences also to understand.
So iHub जो इनोवेशन हब संस्था है उसका हम लोग सरकार से हैं, तो हमारा सबसे पहला रोल है कि हम आपकी आइडियाज़ की ड्राइवर नहीं हैं, हम आपके हेल्पर हैं. ठीक है, ड्राइवर तो आप खुद हो. बिकॉज हम अगर ड्राइव करने चालू कर देंगे तो फिर शायद आपकी क्रिएटिविटी इतना फ्लरिश नहीं कर पाएगी. बट वी आर एनेबलर्स. तो iHub का मेन उद्देश्य है कि आपकी सपनों को पंख देने के लिए, थ्रस्ट देने के लिए हम हेल्प करेंगे. रनवे देंगे, फ्लाइंग कंट्रोल देंगे, आपको नेविगेट करेंगे, आपको लैंडिंग पैड देंगे, आपको ये सब सपोर्ट करेंगे. मेनली 3 एम्स की ज़रूरत पड़ती है जब माइंड टू मार्केट में यात्रा होती है. तो पहला एम है विटामिन एम. आप समझते हो? मनी. अब शुरू में आइडिया है आप सबके पास, तो थोड़े बहुत तो लक्ष्मी चाहिए, राइट? सो द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी डू इज़, हम लोग, हमारा मैंडेट है 10,000 आइडियाज़ को अप टू 2.5 लाख रुपीज़ की आइडिया ग्रांट मिलता है. 10,000 आइडियाज़, व्हेयर एवर इट कम्स फ्रॉम, वो फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, राइट? आप में से, इस कमरे में से कुछ लोग का मगज में कुछ आइडिया है, आप लोग अपने इंस्टीट्यूट, यूनिवर्सिटी या iHub की मार्फत अगर आप रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे और तो आपको आइडिया 10,000 टीम्स को हम आइडिया ग्रांट देते हैं. दूसरी बात, 2.5 लाख में तो कंपनी बनती नहीं है. सो फिर आप जब आइडिया बनाते हो फिर ज़रूरत पड़ती है प्रोटोटाइप डेवलपमेंट, प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट. तो लगभग हम 500 लोगों को 10 लाख का ग्रांट्स देते हैं. फिर उसके बाद भी अगर किसी को लगता है प्रोटोटाइप बन गया है, प्रोडक्ट बन गया है, अब हमें मार्केट में जाना चाहिए, तो हम अप टू 30 लाख का ग्रांट्स की फैसिलिटेट करते हैं. और जब मैं ग्रांट्स की बात करता हूँ, सिर्फ आपको दुआएं रिटर्न करनी है, कुछ रिटर्न नहीं करनी है, राइट? सो 30 लाख तक का ग्रांट आपको मिलता है. लेकिन अगर आपकी टीम में कोई लड़की है, को फाउंडर, एनी वुमेन इन योर टीम, तो हम 40 लाख तक देते हैं. ठीक है? और एक कदम आगे, अगर आप लोग मिलके ऐसी कोई समस्या सॉल्व कर रहे हो जो गुजरात की सामाजिक प्रगति या आर्थिक प्रगति में डायरेक्ट कंट्रीब्यूट करता है, तो 50 लाख तक देते हैं. ठीक है? तो अब आप जितने भी लोग हो यहाँ पे, जिसकी मगज में भी लगता है कि यार मैं तो कुछ कर सकता हूँ, तो फिर हमारे यहाँ पे टीम में कैसा है, मृणाल है, ये सब लोग आज पूरे फौज इसीलिए आए हैं, इनको पकड़ना. इनके पास तो ट्रेजरी का अकाउंट है. ठीक है? बट हाँ, विचार की मौलिकता होनी चाहिए. सो पहला चीज़ हम देते हैं ग्रांट कैपिटल. दूसरा चीज़ देते हैं रिस्क कैपिटल. जब आप ग्रांट कैपिटल सरकार के साधन से आप बना लेते हो, तो ऑब्वियसली आपको एंजल फंड्स की ज़रूरत है, वेंचर फंड्स की ज़रूरत है. उसके लिए जो रिस्क कैपिटल के प्रावधान हैं, फंड ऑफ फंड्स का, अलग अलग एंजल फंड्स का, वो भी हम आपको इंटीग्रेट करते हैं. ये पहला एम हो गया मनी का. दूसरा एम, 3 एम में से दूसरा एम है मेंटोरशिप. अब यहाँ का ध्रुव भाई बैठे हैं, 90 आउट ऑफ 100 स्टार्टअप्स जिसको हम सपोर्ट करते हैं ना, वो कहते हैं पैसा तो सब कोई भी दे देगा, लेकिन ज्ञान चाहिए. कोई आदमी अपना तजुर्बा बताए कि एक आइडिया को एंड तक लेने के लिए जो संघर्ष होती है, उसकी नेविगेशन के लिए जो ज्ञान कौशल चाहिए, वो एक्सपीरियंस आप ला के दीजिए. तो वो होता है मेंटोरशिप. वहाँ पे हम लोग काफ़ी स्ट्रांगली जो इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं उनको लूप इन करते हैं, एक सोशल सेक्टर के लोगों को जोड़ते हैं। अब आता है तीसरा एम, वो एम होता है मार्केट। अगर आप इस रूम में बहुत सारे इनोवेटर्स हो, अगर हम अहमदाबाद में आपकी प्रोडक्ट को खरीदे नहीं, आपकी सर्विसेज को अडॉप्ट ना करें, तो ऑब्वियसली आपकी मार्केट कभी बनेगा नहीं। सो हम लोग गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि कम से कम 15 से 20% प्रोक्योरमेंट जो हम करते हैं वो हमारे लोकल इनोवेटर्स और स्टार्टअप से प्रोक्योर होनी चाहिए। जैसे आई हैव अगर कोई चीज़ खरीदता है, हम प्रायोरिटी देते हैं कि हम लोकल इनोवेटर्स और स्टार्टअप से लें। तो 3M में पद्धति में काम करते हैं। पहला तो हम मनी को लेकर सपोर्ट करते हैं, दूसरा मेंटरशिप के लिंकेजेस करते हैं, और तीसरा मार्केट एक्सेस में हेल्प करते हैं। और ये तीनों चीज़ को करने के लिए जो सुविधा चाहिए, एक इंस्टीट्यूशनल ढांचा चाहिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए और इंसेंटिव चाहिए, ये तीनों सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म पे उपलब्ध करवाने के लिए आई हब की का परिकल्पना हुआ था। और हम लोग AMA से लगभग 100 मीटर दूर पे बैठे हैं। आई हब की संस्था है। आप लोग को मेरे तरफ से स्वागत है, कभी भी चाय पीने आइए। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. And HiHub has social media accounts, right? And there's also a website if anybody wants quick information. Ankit, UNICEF and Gujarat University Startup and Entrepreneurship Council have been working together for a long time. And you're known for academic innovation and research. तो वो कौन सी strategies हैं जो आप deploy करते हैं to convert these innovative ideas into successful startups?
So, talking about the academic interventions, yeah, so what's the role of university in promoting startup and entrepreneurship? I would like to just go back in 2016 when the Prime Minister emphasized upon Startup India, Stand Up India in his Independence Day speech. So, after that time, there was a meeting organized at the Gujarat University. Sir was also part of that, where it was organized by the Education Department upon what sort of plan of action should be there in order to support entrepreneurs or create this ecosystem within the university campus. So that was the starting point of how the institutions and universities can come together in supporting startups and innovations. Coming back from that, 2017, GUSEC was established. And when GUSEC was established, as I mentioned, that we wanted to focus upon student entrepreneurs more. So in order to cater to that, what we believe that we need to create a model where we can have more ideas coming to us and more startups, more students coming to us with their ideas, right? So in order to do that, at that point of time, what we thought was of having a model called research to revenue. So that was the idea curated at that point of time, that there is a lot of academic research being done. Can that be converted into an idea, and can that idea go to the market and earn revenue for a company? So that was the model. Now, in order to implement this model, there are many entry barriers if we talk about providing support to the student innovators. So how can we lower down these entry barriers if they want to avail support from us? So what we thought of, can we have a 0-day, zero-cost model? So GUSEC is having that model of 0-day, zero cost. 0-day means anyone with an innovative idea can come to us on the day one itself. We are happy to learn from you, to listen to your ideas and guide you further. So that's 0-day. Zero cost means we are not going to charge anything from any innovator in order to give you any support. If we are giving you access to funding, or if we are giving you mentorship, if we are giving you any networking opportunities, or if we are giving you any platform, we are not going to charge anything from you. So that was the model with which we started, of 0-day, zero cost, so that there would be no entry barriers. There should be more ideas coming from these innovators. And when we are talking about the students and young minds, compared to the Western region, where usually people do startups at a very early age, in their teenagers or 18 or 19 years of age. But in our country, people think about it after, let's say, 30, 35. It's not bad, but the chances of success are very lower in that case. So what we thought of, if the young minds are coming up with an idea, if we are going to provide them that opportunity, if we are going to provide them that platform at right at that stage when they are into the colleges, then there are very, very great chances that these ideas are going to be successful. So that's something which we have followed so far, and I believe that we have been able to support more than 600 startups historically since last 7 years. So again, that's something which we are very much focused upon, and I believe I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. So I'm loving these acronyms, the 3 M's and the R to R, research to revenue. Very interesting. Mr. Shah, as the MD of the Prasad Group of Companies, if you can shed some light on how you're collaborating with innovators who are coming up with solutions while also fostering your business interests.
No, so અહીંયા gap છે. There is a gap here. So we are not really doing that, because I found it, even I was in a advisory board of an EDI also for many these institutes. Problem એવો છે કે the new startups are still not come up with the product which industries can immediately use. એટલે the gap, one gap is definitely here. Second gap is આ બધા માટે છે કે are you innovate to become famous, or are you innovate to solve someone's problem? તમારું ઇનોવેશન છે એ ક્યાંથી આવ્યું છે? I mean, I hope he said the fantastic way, less traveled road. It is a very very nice statement. Less travel મતલબ બહુ ઓછા લોકો ગયા હોય એવી જગ્યાએ આપણે જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. યુથનું કામ શું છે? કોપી કરવાનું નહીં, કંઈક નવું કરવાનું. પણ એકચ્યુઅલી જોવા જઈએ તો 10માંથી 9 સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ક્યાંક કોઈક મોબાઈલ એપ કે સોશિયલ નેટવર્કિંગ સાઇટની કોપી નથી. જે કોપી છે તો સક્સેસ ક્યાં છે? અનધર વે ઇઝ industries is looking for a product based support. So when I am talking about startup, doesn't mean mobile app, or startup doesn't mean ek software. Startup means a certain product. And the chances, the data says this, all over India, 6 times more chance of the success if you are actually some product based startup than compared to pure software based startup. 10માંથી 9 આપણે એવું કહીએ છીએ કે આઈટી બેઝ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ફેલ જાય છે. મને કહો આમાંથી તમે એવી કોઈ કોલેજમાં એડમિશન લેશે કે જેમાંથી 10 સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ એન્ટર થતા હોય અને એક જ સ્ટુડન્ટ બહાર નીકળતો હોય? Then why we are copying the same thing? એટલે these gap, I definitely recommend, even iHub, JUSEC, they are doing fantastic job, but have certain category wise agriculture based, transport based, medical and healthcare based, production based, machinery based. There are many areas of the life. There they put a category કે આ 20%નો કોટા પૂરો થઈ ગયો, હવે આઈટીથી વધારે, આનાથી વધારે આઈટીમાં જ લેવા એવું નહીં, બીજી પ્રોડક્ટમાં પણ લઈ શકાય. Then the ratio would be much higher and we can match with the China.
Thank you so much. This provides the perfect segue for my next question to Mr. Manta. ये जो प्रॉब्लम इन्होंने अभी दी है, इसका सोल्यूशन क्या हो सकता है? हाउ कैन ऑल डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स कम टुगेदर टू मे बी?
ओके, सो ठीक है, मैं एक उदाहरण से समझाना चाहूँगा. कितने लोग पिज़्ज़ा खाते हो? लगभग सब. बढ़िया है, तो फिर आंसर तो रेडी है. पिज़्ज़ा में 3 चीज़ होता है. पहला चीज़, अच्छा जो लोग जवाब अच्छा देंगे उनको मैं चॉकलेट देके जाऊँगा आज, ओके? तो इसलिए आप सवाल का आंसर सही देना. पिज़्ज़ा में तीन चीज़ मेन होता है, ठीक है? पहला चीज़, पिज़्ज़ा बनाने के लिए पहला लेयर क्या चाहिए? हाथ खड़ा करोगे? हाँ मैडम. बेस चाहिए. बेस क्या होता है? ब्रेड होता है. आपका इनका नाम क्या है? भूमि के लिए ताली बजाओ भाई, ठीक है? जैसे पिज़्ज़ा के लिए एक बेस चाहिए ब्रेड का, किसी भी स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम के लिए एक बेस चाहिए, और बेस होता है एकेडमिक एंड यूनिवर्सिटी सिस्टम्स. जिस जगत से आप लोग आए हो, आइडियाज़ एंड फर्टाइल माइंड्स जहाँ रहते हैं, वो होता है इकोसिस्टम का बेस. तो सबसे पहला कोलैबोरेशन तो आता है कि हाउ कैन यू कनेक्ट द डिफरेंट एंटिटीज ऑफ बेस. गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी एक फील्ड में काम कर रहा है, गुजरात टेक्नोलॉजी यूनिवर्सिटी एक फील्ड में काम कर रहा है, PDU एक फील्ड में काम कर रहा है, फॉरेंसिक साइंस यूनिवर्सिटी में काम कर रहा है. सो फर्स्ट कोलैबोरेशन इज विद इन द बेस. अगर बेस ही खराब होगा तो इकोसिस्टम नहीं बन पाएगा, राइट? लाइक योर पिज़्ज़ा. सो द फर्स्ट कोलैबोरेशन मैम इज हाउ डू वी एनकरेज कोलैबोरेशन बिटवीन एकेडमिक स्टेक होल्डर्स. अगर किसी के पास लैब है, किसी के पास R&D फैसिलिटी है, किसी के पास इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर है, किसी के पास ग्रांट है, How do we do that? So the first thing that we do in the government is inspire and encourage and even incentivize with various incubators, accelerators, universities to come together to create the base. Now let us go to the second stage of pizza. Base के बाद क्या चाहिए? Bread के बाद क्या चाहिए? एक एक खाते हैं, हाँ. क्या आता है? हाँ, टॉपिंग आता है, राइट? हाँ, तो टॉपिंग आता है. तो अब ये बताओ इकोसिस्टम की टॉपिंग क्या होगा? इकोसिस्टम का टॉपिंग होएगा इंडस्ट्री, राइट? Like I told, the base of pizza is the university. In the ecosystem, the topping is industry, like what Dhrubai was mentioning. Now, this is a very tricky thing. Somehow in Indian ecosystem, collaboration is happening in the base layer, but in the topping level, there are very lesser incidents of collaborations. That means, आपका bread तो अच्छा है, multigrain है, ठीक है? Because there are multiple stakeholders into it. But the problem is, in the multigrain bread, if you don't put multigrain industries and bind it, तो पिज़्ज़ा अच्छा बनेगा? नहीं बनेगा. So the second task that we are doing in the ecosystem building is Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, AMA, UNICEF, all the topping in the base are very important stakeholders. And I believe this program itself, Elixir, UNICEF, AMA, is also a combination of different putting or topping in the cake, right? So that's the second important thing. This is a very integration of the ecosystem that Indian ecosystem misses, which we are working on. Now the third layer of ecosystem in the pizza, ठीक है? मैं सवाल से पूछा कि पहले से हाथ उठ रहे हैं कुछ. कौन बताएगा तीसरा इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेक होल्डर कौन है? पीछे से हाथ, लास्ट वाला बताओ. चीज, तुम्हारा नाम क्या है भाई? हाँ? अरे नाम तो सुनने दो. करण के लिए ताली बजाओ भाई. ठीक है? परफेक्ट है करण. तुम्हें मैं मेरा मोमेंटो दे के जाऊंगा आज, ठीक है? तो करण ने जो बताया, चीज इज द थर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट ingredient of pizza. Similarly, in the startup ecosystem, the cheese and the cheesy part is government. Okay? Our job is to ensure that the base of the pizza in the ecosystem, the topping of the industry is integrated, binded and set together. So government's role in the ecosystem, like the cheese in the pizza, to make it integratedly, little smoothie, little better, little flavory, right? तो करण तुम्हारे आंसर के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. So this is very important. What we are doing now is, even in the cheese, there are multiple types of cheese, right? So that's what we are trying in the government. Different departments are creating policies. Different PSUs are creating policies. Different ministries are bringing policies. So the very clear role is academics or colleges, जहाँ से आप लोग आए हो, that's the base. Dhrubai and all other people who are industry or going to add value are the topping in the base. And systems like us are playing the role of the cheese. So combining these three, we can have a wonderful recipe of pizza. Thank you.
That was really well said. पर मेरा एक question है कि oven कौन है? Pizza तो आपने बना लिया.
So honestly speaking, the oven is the need of market and the real problems of the industry. So if you can find out the real problem on the market and solve it, that's going to give you the hit. That's going to give you the burning calorie.
Thank you. अभी जब हम लोग गुजरात की शुरुआत में भी इनॉग्रल में बात करते, we were saying that Gujarat is a model for other states. और बाकी states में जब हम लोग hackathons और challenges देखते हैं तो वहाँ पर award देते हैं and that's like the end of it. But in Gujarat we also see that the actual work begins once people have come up with solutions and ideas. और GUSEC में बहुत सारे innovators को incubate भी करते हैं. Sankit, can you tell us what is the kind of support that GUSEC provides to such startups and innovators?
Yes, absolutely. So, सर ने काफ़ी अच्छा बेस सेट कर दिया है हमारे लिए, being a university, so that I can now brief upon what sort of support we are able to give it to the startup and entrepreneurs at GUSEC. So there are many incubators within the Ahmedabad ecosystem, as we can see. All of them are providing similar kind of a support. All of have a similar sort of a source of grants from the government or from the partners or from whatever. But what more can we give as an incubator? That's something that I wanted to emphasize upon. So I want to specifically mention about the student startup and innovation policy here, because at the time when GUSEC was established, SSAP was also launched, and it has played a very instrumental role in like taking these ideas into a reality. So that is something very commendable from as a part of the government as well. And GUSAC has been very fortunate to receive a great support from SSIP. Through SSIP, we have been able to create various kind of support for our startups. Talking about other than grants, mentoring, and networking, we emphasize upon things which are not that much visible as a kind of a support. Let's say if a startup is working on something, they wanted to use certain kind of a platforms which are like on a subscription or a paid basis, so they can't afford that at their own level, right? So what we have been able to do is we have been able to create a technology dashboard at our center where we have all sort of subscriptions which are very much useful in terms of like their daily usage. If they wanted to make a pitch deck, we have a Canva. If they wanted to research on something, we have Statista. If they wanted to gain much knowledge about if they want to have some literature, we have our own library. If they wanted to make some video, we have different tools which can help them to make a video. So all these things are very much helpful for them at an initial level, because all these things are not easily available for them. Other thing that I wanted to emphasize upon is about upskilling. Startups comes to us, they have a limited knowledge, they don't have much knowledge about other sectors or other things that they should be knowing it if they want to go to the next level. So what we have been able to do is we have been able to have different kind of online learning platforms for them. So this helps them to gain much knowledge about the other fields which they are not aware about. This helps them to upskill as well. Other thing which is very much important for the early stage startups is about having a right person in their team. So what we try to help them is we try to help them to find the relevant human resource for them, for their team. So as a university, we have students based with us who are always looking for internship or certain kind of a job opportunity, and our startups are in requirement of such skilled people, right? So there's like a win-win situation for both of them, right? So we try to facilitate that as well. Talking about the Industry Connect, yes, we have been able to establish an MSME chair within the university system itself with the support of Dr. Jamin Vasa, who was associated with GCCI previously. So he is helping us, our startups, to connect to the industry and relevant industry and the relevant stakeholders who can help them to go to the market. So all this kind of support is very much essential if we want our startups to go to the next level. So this is something which is very not highlighted much more, but it is very much crucial in their journey.
Thank you, Ankit. So अगर थोड़ी देर के लिए we'll go back to Mr. Mahanta's pizza. So मेरा question है for Mr. Shah कि ये जो इंडस्ट्री एकेडेमिया कनेक्ट की हम लोग जो बात कर रहे हैं उसको बेहतर कैसे किया जा सकता है, इफ़ यू कैन शेयर लिटिल बिट मोर अबाउट दैट.
ये तो पिज़्ज़ा बनाने वाला ही बता सकता है, पर ये इतना तो बता सकते हैं कि मेन थिंग इज हाउ मेनी पीपल इवन आफ्टर दीज रियली नो, लाइक टुडे આજે મને પણ બહુ જ સરપ્રાઇઝ હતું आफ्टर हैविंग मेनी डेटास કે what iHub is doing, what JUSEC is doing. એટલે it is a fantastic schemes, extraordinary government initiatives, પણ આ કેટલા લોકો સુધી પહોંચે છે, આવા કેટલા પ્રોગ્રામ્સ થાય છે, why it is only connected with the university specific incubation center, because it is connected with commerce, architects, designers, art, medical, દરેકે દરેક ફિલ્ડમાં innovation is not only innovation or startup is not only connected with engineering or tech. So how government can put certain chapters into everyone's curriculum as a part of curriculum, then this can really go to the next level. And of course, industries is really open. So if you talk about the Chamber of Commerce, CII and FICCI, so I mean all the three committees, we are wide open for any of such kind of program, for sure, forever for the students. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is music to our ears, and Archana ji was also in the boardroom in the morning when we were having this discussion with the Principal Secretary, Higher Technical Education. And this piece of work, I think now that you've offered. We're going to take up this offer and maybe design something very quickly. Mr. Mahanta, coming back to challenges that startups face, आप अपने experience से अगर बता पाएं कि what are the kind of challenges that startups are facing when they move from the mind to the market?
So I think the first challenge is, and this is not a challenge, this is an habitual problem for entrepreneurs. The first challenge that all of you should avoid is falling in love with a wrong problem. Okay. अगर आप गलत समस्याओं की प्रेम कर बैठो तो फिर आइडिया मरना गारंटी है, right? But then who will help you to find the right problem to marry with? That's what ecosystem job should be, right? And if I take 100 startups and if 50 are not working after 2 years and मैं उनको कोने में लेके पूछता हूँ कि भाई तकलीफ क्या था, तो 80% बोलते हैं कि साहब समस्या ही एक समस्या थी. मतलब the problem that they attacked was a wrong problem. And what happened is, sometime once you start working on the problem and you realize that it's a wrong problem, then you don't tell it to others, thinking that people will ashamed of, right? But I think one of the very important thing that the ecosystem need to do is for open, glorious sharing of failures. ये है नहीं. तो इसीलिए आपकी कॉलेजेस में अगर आप आइडियाज़ की बात करते हो, आप बोलोगे कि मैंने चालू किया नहीं चला, तो लोगों को लगता है ये तो मूर्ख होगा, right? But that's one challenge that every entrepreneur is facing. The second problem that I see is many often the excitation is quite high. De-excitation का कोई safety net नहीं है, right? For example, we were praying 1.2 billion used to pray for a safe landing, but how many were praying for safe takeoff? This is a different questions. So both takeoff of your idea and safe landing in the market is very important. So when many entrepreneurs do an excited takeoff, but a very de-excited landing. So if you don't know how do you land after you build the product, how create a market, despite you have a very good start, there are very, very successful entrepreneurs, and at the end of the day, they could not scale, they could not make impact, they could not get a safe landing. The third important thing in our ecosystem, and this is a very important thing that I believe, हमारे बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स हैं, जब 5-6 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू होता है बड़ा खुश हो जाते हैं, एसजीआई में जाके चाय पीते हैं. They undermine their potential. I will not name one company that I was guiding here, a final year LD college student, made 6 to 7 crore of revenue within 2 years of operation. बड़ा खुश हुआ, बोला 15 लोग मेरे कंपनी में काम करते हैं, बढ़िया सा ऑफिस है सिंधु भवन में, and they are happy because they are getting revenue, making profit, solving problems. But the 5th year of the operation, a company which was started in the 2nd year of their own operation acquired them. Of course they got money, of course they get exits. But a enterprise which came later to them, acquired them outside India, and of course, despite the money factor, there was a lot of loss of data, a lot of loss of impact, right? So that means once you have proven the business model, how do you move from the mindset of local to global? How do you move from a mindset of not staying small is also a problem. Many often we are too good in SME, but too bad in scaling and making the impact. That's also a problem. And the fourth important problem that I believe is, many entrepreneurs that we come across, they have a very short-term vision. And let me tell you, every entrepreneur goes through a smooth honeymoon and a bad life, right? After 3 years, 4 years of operation, fighting sub co-founders, scaling problem, investor problem, regulatory problem, ये सब तो होने ही वाला है. But many often we assume that the life is going to be smooth and we didn't plan for them. And we collapse very badly. So these are very small, soft challenges after the death valley of idea, product and market. But these are essential challenges. I see 6 out of 10 startups struggle to grow just because the founder and co-founder are not looking eye to eye after 5 years operations. So the behavioral issues of running a successful enterprise are also very important, which we should not undermine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So our audience may we have Innovation Club के students and they are from colleges, but we also have child innovators जो GUSEC में incubated है, and they are as young as 10 years old. Sankit, if you can share a little bit more about that, and how can we encourage this ecosystem for children कोई सक्सेस स्टोरी है तो उससे आई थिंक उसकी मदद से आप अगर शेयर कर पाएँ.
So talking about school kids, this journey was started in 2019 as a partnership with UNICEF. We did a Children Innovation Festival. So the idea behind doing this was like, can we have some sort of ideas from school kids to whom we can support or not? So that was something which we wanted to cater, or which we wanted to emphasize upon. So the first edition that we did in 2019, we were like, it was great to know that all the ideas that came for the boot camps were really good, and we were being able to give support to all of them. We were being able to support top 50 ideas out of that. And talking about the second edition, it was again a great success which we did in 2020. Now, doing boot camps and upskilling them about startup concepts or business model is not sufficient enough, right? They are school kids, they have other plans in mind as well. So it's very much important for them to bring them in a structured manner, right? So that's where we thought of establishing Vikram Sarabhai Children Innovation Center, which is a dedicated platform for children innovators, where we are going to provide similar sort of a support through the different dimensions and at a different level. And again, that is also something which we are doing together with UNICEF as well. So far we have been able to do boot camps, challenges with the schools, where we have been able to get to know great ideas coming from them. Talking about the ideas, all the ideas are very raw. It's not like a great idea, but there is something which they are thinking upon, right? So that is very much crucial, because going ahead, they would be in the colleges, then again they will be in the same ecosystem, then they will be going through the same pipeline, right? So that creation of pipeline is also very much important. So that's something which we are being able to do through the center as well. There was an idea where a child wanted to use the carbon emission and convert that into an ink. So that's like very weird or something new, as we can know, right? But that is something which that a child is thinking upon, at least, right? What more we can do is we can help him to understand about the ideas, about concept, about what stage he or she can take that idea, right? So that is very much important. So that's the platform which we are able to provide it to them. Going ahead, yes, we are going to have a dedicated space for them as well, where we are thinking to create an experience center for them as well. So far, we are also hosting them at GUSEC. We have done immersion visit with more than 50 schools in Ahmedabad region, and more than 3,000 kids have already visited GUSEC, and they have seen the facilities, they have met the innovators, the entrepreneurs, so that they can also know from them, they can get motivation from them. They are asking questions to them on how they created that product, how they can do well in the idea which they have got. So that is a kind of a platform which we have been able to provide it to them through VSCIC.
Thank you so much. Now I'll come to the most important question of the day. I think everybody in this room will want to know this. Mr. Shah, from your perspective, how do you at Prasad Group of Companies evaluate जब आपके पास कोई potential investment की request के साथ आता है? If you have any tips for the students in this room कि effectively pitch कैसे करें to investors?
मेरा सीक्रेट मैं बता दूँ तो ये तो पिच कैसे करे उससे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आपका ग्राउंड वर्क कितना स्ट्रांग है. मतलब हम इतने तो स्मार्ट है कि उसका पिच गलत भी है, बट अगर उसका ग्राउंड वर्क स्ट्रांग है तो हम आदमी को पकड़ लेते. તો इतना ज़्यादा મહેનત, એટલી બધી મહેનત એમાં ના કરવી કે કેવી રીતે બોલવું, શું કપડાં પહેરવા, કેવી સ્ટાઇલ કરવી, શાર્ક ટેન્ક જોઈને કેવી રીતે સ્ટાઇલમાં સામે બાઉન્સ મારવો, એ અલગ વસ્તુ છે. આપણી પોતાની પ્રોડક્ટ અને એ વસ્તુ કેટલી સ્ટ્રોંગ છે. નાઉ વેન યુ આર પિચિંગ ફોર વોટ, સૌથી પહેલું ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. આર યુ પિચિંગ ફોર સપોર્ટ of mentorship? Are you pitching for support of partnership? Are you pitching for support of money? હવે સૌથી પહેલાં બધાને રસ એમાં હોય પૈસા. પૈસા નથી. આઈ બિલીવ ધીસ ઇઝ અ બિગેસ્ટ મિથ. પૈસા તો આપવાવાળા બહુ જ લોકો છે અમદાવાદમાં. ડેસ્પરેટલી લુકિંગ કે કયું સારું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ છે જેમાં હું પૈસા રોકું. ફોર એવરીબડીઝ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન, પૈસાની કોઈ કમી જ નથી. ઇટ્સ I will definitely like to quote here Gandhiji's theory. Find the purpose, means will follow. તમારો એક ઉદ્દેશ નક્કી કર્યો હોય તો means will follow. So for pitching, I will first see, is he asking money for making a product? એટલે પહેલી વાર તો no. Product is already made. Don't ask for money. You make your product. Don't ask for production, don't ask for marketing. You do in your one micro cycle, જેને આપણે કહીએ ને નાનામાં નાની સાયકલ, એક પ્રોટોટાઇપ બનાવીને સોસાયટીમાં ક્યાંક કંઈક આપી દીધું છે અને એ વસ્તુ વેચાઈ છે. Then you are asking, there are 100 companies ready to give you money to scale up your business. ત્યાં સુધી you can definitely ask for a government or other social ventures, પણ વન્સ તમારી પ્રોડક્ટ તમને ખબર છે કે એનું ઇક્વેશન શું છે, એની પ્રોડક્શન કોસ્ટ શું છે, એને વેચવામાં કેટલી તકલીફ પડે છે, કોણ ખરીદે છે, આટલું તમને ખબર છે તો પૈસાની કોઈ કમી નથી. સેકન્ડ થિંગ્સ આઈ જનરલી લુક ફોર ધ ઓનર. એટલે ઓનર એન્ડ હિઝ ટીમ. માનો કે ઓનર અને એની ટીમને એવું હોય કે આ પૈસાથી હું બિઝનેસને સ્કેલ અપ કરી અને 5 વર્ષમાં 50 કરોડમાં કે 20 કરોડમાં વેચી દઈશ. આઈ વિલ મેક ઇટ મલ્ટી મિલિયન બિઝનેસ અને આઈ વિલ હેલો ઓકે આઈ વિલ સેલ ઇટ. દેન વી આર નોટ ઇન્વેસ્ટિંગ. બિકોઝ ધ બિઝનેસ, જે બિઝનેસ તમે શરૂ કરો છો જ વેચવા માટે, એ બિઝનેસમાં તમે પાણી નાખશો, પરસેવો નાખશો, પણ તમારું લોહી નહીં નાખો. અને વી આર નોટ લુકિંગ ફોર અ પીપલ હુ આર, દેર આર ધ પીપલ કે ના લાઈફ ટાઈમ આ મારી પ્રોડક્ટ છે, આઈ એમ ગોઈંગ ટુ મેક ધીસ ચેન્જીસ ઇન ધ સોસાયટી, આઈ એમ ગોઈંગ ટુ ક્રિએટ અ ગ્રેટ કંપની, નોટ અ સેલેબલ કંપની. દેન વી વિલ ઇન્વેસ્ટ.
Those were excellent tips. Thank you so much. I think we've completely run out of time. But एक last question to everyone. अभी Chandrayaan 3 mission successful हो गया है. And we've learned that we have to dream big. तो अगर 2030 की बात करें, अभी 7 साल और हैं, तो what do you think Gujarat would have achieved by then in the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem?
Yes, definitely. Talking about Gujarat, yes, we are definitely doing great as compared to the other states which we were not. Since last 3 years consecutively, we have ranked top performer in terms of startup and innovation. So yes, we have started doing great things. Talking about going ahead, yes, a way forward is like how we can have that pipeline ready where we can have more startups and innovators coming up, taking entrepreneurship as their career options. Because if that is going to happen, then and only we are going to achieve a mark of like have the Prime Minister which has set a goal of achieving the 3rd largest economy in the world, right? If you want to achieve that, the role of startup and innovation is going to be a very crucial. And Gujarat being the top performer, again, yes, we are going to be the front runner because we have a good support system in place. We have a good lineup for incubators and also entrepreneurs. And definitely, if we talk about 2030, yes, we are going to achieve new heights, and the Gujarat will be the one which will be known for the startup ecosystem by then, definitely.
એટલે ડિફિકલ્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન છે કે 2030, so not envisage that long yet. Whatever the world is passing through, very clear, crystal clear growth path is there for India. I can say only who can leverage it. એટલે ઇન્ડિયાનો અત્યારે જે ગ્રોથ છે એટલો બધો સ્ટુપેન્ડસ છે કારણ કે ઓલરેડી દુનિયાની કમ્પેરમાં આપણે અહીંયા છીએ ખરેખર, એટલે બહુ જ નીચે છીએ. ચંદ્રયાનની સક્સેસ એક વસ્તુ છે, પણ અગેન્સ્ટ ધ વર્લ્ડ ઓર અગેન્સ્ટ ધ ચાઇના વી આર સો લો. સો ગુડ ન્યૂઝ ઇઝ વી કેનોટ ગો બિલો, વી ઓનલી હેવ ટુ ગ્રો ફર્ધર. અને એ થઈ જ રહ્યું છે. એટલે આ જે ગ્રોથ છે નેક્સ્ટ 10 યર્સમાં એ સ્ટુપેન્ડસ છે. એ ગ્રોથનો ઉપયોગ કરીને હાઉ વી કેન ડૂ 10,000 સક્સેસફુલ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ્સ. How successful, I mean, who has crossed certain limit. How we can do at least 20, 30 or 40 unicorns. For example, Gujarat ma, it's a fantastic that we have done, I was just going through certain figures, 8,000 startups in last few years. But only 1,100 funded by government. Only few are real successful. How much unicorn? Not yet even any unicorn. Just a Shenzhen, of 5 years, a small city have more than 10,000 startups, and more than 53 companies entered into the unicorn club. એટલે યુનિકોર્ન એટલે 5,000 કરોડ રૂપિયા ક્રોસ કર્યા ઝીરોથી શરૂ કરીને 10 વર્ષમાં. એવી 53 કંપનીઓ છે. તો હાઉ વી કેન મેક અમદાવાદ અ શેન્ઝન? I mean, Rohan was telling, we don't want to predict the future, we want to imagine the future. So I would definitely wish instead of predicting, we imagine it together and we create it.
तो 2030 की बात कर रहे हैं ना हम लोग, 7 year from now. I mean, maybe I look old, but what I think is, आज अगर आपके घर में या पड़ोस में कोई बच्चा को अच्छा सा मल्टीनेशनल का जॉब मिलता है तो आप केक पार्टी करते हो, राइट? चीयर्स तो करते हो. 2030 of Gujarat should be, the cheering factor would be if anybody says कि यार मेरे को 20 लाख का जॉब लगा लेकिन मैं छोड़ के अपना आइडिया चालू करने वाला हूँ. So 7 year down the line would be, क्या हम अपने समाज में, अपने संस्थान में, अपने आसपास में पहले अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं था और रिस्क लेते थे, अब बात आएगी अपॉर्चुनिटी बहुत है फिर भी रिस्क लेंगे. So that's the first goal that we'll achieve in next 7 years. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, आज अहमदाबाद में बाहर के लोग कब आते हैं? यहाँ बगल में IIM है, आप लोग देखा होगा ना कैंपस, मैनेजमेंट की सबसे अच्छी संस्थान है. लोग मैनेज कैसे करना है वो सीखने के लिए अहमदाबाद आते थे. 2030 में क्रिएट कैसे करना है वो सीखने के लिए आएंगे. सो यू शुड बी हब ऑफ क्रिएशन, नॉट हब ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ओनली. तो 7 साल में पूरे देश की अगर किसी को सीखना है कि 0 to 1 में अपना आइडियाज को कैसे ले जाना है, वो सीखने के लिए गुजरात को आएंगे. और तीसरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, आज की तारीख में मैं कहता हूँ, एक जमाना था 1997-98 में जब लारी प्रेज और सर्जी ब्रेन जो पढ़ाई कर रहे थे, उनकी जो प्रोजेक्ट एडवाइजर थे स्टैनफोर्ड में, वो इंडियन प्रोफेसर थे. उन्होंने पहला $1.5 लाख तो उनको दिया था, बोला कि भाई तुम्हारा थीसिस में तो दम लगता है, तुम कंपनी क्यों नहीं बनाते हो? और 3 महीना तक वो चेक पड़ा रहा था क्योंकि कंपनी रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं हुई थी. 3 महीने बाद कंपनी बनी, फिर समथिंग कॉल गूगल केम अप, राइट? तो उस टाइम पे क्या होता था? उस टाइम पे दुनिया की बेस्ट माइंड्स को राशि वहाँ से मिलता था आइडियाज़ को आगे लेने के लिए. ग्लोबल माइंड्स यूज टू गेट ग्लोबल कैपिटल टू क्रिएट ग्लोबल इम्पैक्ट. 2030 में अहमदाबाद में ऐसा होना चाहिए कि अहमदाबाद मनी should also ignite global talents and get them here to create impact here. तो आपकी जो साबरमती वैली है ना, it's good for cycling, but it should also be good for evening pitch decks there. Okay, so how do you move from a Silicon Valley Bay to a Indus Valley Bay, right? How do you move from one idea of वेस्टर्न मॉडल ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट टू वन ईस्टर्न मॉडल ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स? 2030 में ये कुछ ख्वाब हैं जो हम सब मिलकर पूरा करेंगे.
Well said. आपके बाद कुछ भी बोलना is very difficult. But I think Gujarat 2030, as everybody has said, we'll move from job seekers to job creators and a room full of billionaires and unicorns. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I think, as I said in the first panel itself, There is no way to summarize and compile everything that this panel or the previous panel could say. But then again, we started with dividing our 75 years of independence into 3 different phases. We came down to young minds and hearts and how they inspire those even of old age. The very notion of having ke kaik to nau જોઈએ છે was really amazing, sir. The 3 M's that a startup and innovation needs. The amazing analogy of pizza that made you all drive your attention over here was really amazing. And what really touched all of our hearts would be the last phase. The vision that we all have 7 years down the line, not just for this state, but for the whole country. As Sir rightfully said, from the Silicon Valley, we need to make it the Indus Valley. Please, a huge round of applause for that point. And with so many other points, I hope all of your minds have been filled with inspiring and motivating thoughts. Thank you, all the panelists. I would now request all of the panelists and ma'am, everybody moderator, to be here for the group photograph.
So I have one man who gave 2 right answers. Can you come? I want to give my memento to you. Please, come over. Come. Come. And you also come. People who gave right answers, come. Yeah, come. And all other answers will get chocolates outside, okay? Come. There was a girl there, madam, come here, you get the second answer right. And you will give it. बड़े समझदार स्टूडेंट्स हैं आप लोग, all answers were right. So, thank you.